This couple we're about to chat to, they shared their journey on living with HIV, disclosing their status to over 50,000 followers on social media, making the hashtags Twitter HIV support and long live with HIV popular.
Thembisile Kwabe and Swelihle Mgadi joins us in studio to tell us about their journey and, of course, what the journey has been like for them to date. Guys, good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
So, guys, what was the inspiration behind letting the world know about your status? I don't know who I'll throw the question to.
The English says ladies first.
We usually a couple that are not ashamed of being us. We just show everything that we do, our everyday lives. So I was like, one day, I was like, baby, why don't we just tell them about our status? Maybe it would inspire other people to come out and talk about it, or maybe inspire people to go have themselves tested.
Yeah.
So it was just us being us, actually.
And I mean, the response that you've garnered now, I mean, as you had, what, 50,000 followers, but obviously this is now conversation that South Africa is using to take the actual reality are attached to enough has shifted for it to become, you know, less of a stigma or bad omen, as opposed to just something.
People still have stigma. It's still stigmatized. You still judged for being HIV, and some people still find it very difficult to disclose their status. But with us, I don't know who asked the question. Where do we find courage? Was it you?
Yeah, how you came?
Is actually she's my courage.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She gives me strength by looking at her, by talking to her.
You're fulfilled.
Yeah, I actually found me in her.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a fantastic story, man.
that is why it was very easy to me to share with her on her very first visit, actually, in my house. So I shared with her. Then we discussed that. How about we share it with the whole world?
Yeah.
Seeing that we've got more than enough followers, how about we use those followers
A platform.
and in a positive way, sharing a positive thing with them, trying to change South Africa, and looking at the response we received from our followers, we believe
It was a good
You've
move.
impacted
it has
them.
shifted. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a good
Yeah.
move. Now, Thembisile, I want to bring you in here. I mean, the fact that you've given this man the courage to live the way he's living and being accepting of letting people know his status. You must have been, both of you must have been through a journey. And do you want to maybe share the journey of the moment you found out you were positive and how you had to deal with it and how you ended up being quite comfortable with it afterwards?
Well, it was not easy. I won't lie. I was 15 years old. I was in high school, grade 11, and people back then, we didn't have hope. There wasn't ARVs, there wasn't any prevention like now. So it was hard because I knew I was going to die. Just thought I was going to die. So I even quit high school, actually, because of that. And people were talking behind my back because even my mother didn't find out from me.
Oh.
I told a family member who then went around spreading rumors about me, and my mother heard it from another person somewhere, and she came back fast and like she wanted to know what's going on, and I told her, but still I didn't have hope. Although I did have my support from my family, but I knew I was going to die because I was seeing people dying left, right, and center back then. So it wasn't easy finding out I was HIV. One deserved to do that, but I just, after quitting high school, I started to learn more about it. I had all the time in the world actually because I was
Did your research?
Yeah, I did my research and I was like, no man, these people who've been living with this for like 20 something years, for 30 years, who am I? And I did more and more research and people started talking about ARVs that are gonna be coming in. So I just became like, okay, I'm gonna live after all. And unfortunately, I was too late to go back to high school because I was already over the age. But then I went to college and I did my NCV, which is an equivalent to matric. And right now I'm working. I have a permanent job. So as much as it wasn't easy at first, but I managed to pull through. And all those people that were talking about me after, they find out that now they are positive. How did you do it? How are you doing it? I'm like, no, I just accepted it. So it wasn't a beautiful journey, but it ended being a beautiful journey.
And I mean, look at the impact it's now having on the rest of South Africa. Swelihle, what was that journey like for you upon discovering your status and also just changing your mindset to embrace life and live it to the fullest?
Well, for me, when I found out, it was quite easy, but it was difficult for me to disclose to my family because no one knew, if I may tell you, no one knew up until 2015. I found out I'm HIV positive on 2011, actually. I was 20 years old. And I was a youth society. I was educating youth, telling them about HIV, so I was informed about HIV and AIDS. So when I found out after I received my result, I laughed it off. And the guy was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool, yeah." And he asked me if I needed
Counseling.
Yes. And I told him, no, I'm a counselor myself. Then I went home, I was fine. But as I was sitting alone in my room, I was like, really, at this age, I'm HIV positive. I know I'm still gonna live. It all depends in me if I live responsible, if I own up and take responsibility.
Own it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I will own it. Then I disclosed to one of my closest friends, Sanele Mbuto. I told him, he's the first one I told, after I've told my then girlfriend. Yeah. So I was very comfortable with him. I told him everything. Then he gave me hope. He said, man, you've got more strength than you think. Sharing this with me, being your friend, I can tell the other guys, but you chose me. Then I was like, okay. I lived my life like nobody's business. I ended up forgetting that I am HIV positive. If I may say, I wasn't responsible enough. Then on 2015, I went and take my medication. And I was healthy. I was very healthy. I just decided, let me just go and take my medication. I started with my medication, and unfortunately, I defaulted on 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
But the important thing, obviously, is that you've got to stay healthy. You've got to work on on your diet, and you've got to take your medication. Unfortunately, we are running
to accept
out of time. The counselling is important, and that's why you first have to accept it, and then afterwards find treatment. There's always treatment, and there's life after HIV. And that's the beauty of what we get out of your story.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom point. That you've got to take this. Without this,
Your ARVs.
yes.
Yeah, and of course you have each other to support. So thank you, Tembi and Swelihle, for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. I mean, we can catch you on social media. You continue to tell your stories, live a positive and impactful life. And thank you for healing us through the lives that you lived. Of course, that was Tembisile Kwabe and Swelihle Mgadi.